쇼다운 T1 대 하나생명 e스포츠.
We are going to get into the draft now to see exactly what balls are going to get chosen. It wasn't a great transition. I'll work on it.
Okay.
First pick going to go over to Gen.G as they had right of first selection, and so they will be on the red side as KT decided to go on towards blue. Shyvana going to be banned as she will be throughout the week, but I don't think that she'll be played even if she wasn't banned because this is the hotfix version. And so first ban to come through here for Gen.G. Do they want to be swapping Oriannas and Azirs, things like that? That is going to be the question mark here. The Nautilus is going to be the first one banned away, which I find quite intriguing. Maybe just an instant Ashe Seraphine could be like what they're thinking about. I don't know. What does Nautilus ban scream to you?
Yeah, I don't know, because I mean, I feel like as much as Nautilus can be a big threat, I think he's also a threat to things like Yunara, you know, when you have those hyper carries are quite mobile. Is an interesting one. Pantheon is more what we typically expect. Rumble has been taken away. Karma is another ban that is just... Rumble and Karma, the two picks have been perma-banned every game so far.
Yep.
And so far, something we've seen as a trend is Ryze and Azir have just been the first picks.
Yep.
In 3 out of 4 series, they have just been the first picks. Ryze.
Like every time, basically.
Well, it hasn't even been Ryze against Azir. It's been like Ryze has been first picked. And
Ryze against?
Not Ryze. It hasn't been Ryze against.
It's a great band. Really, really good band.
It's been like separate. So now Ryze has been banned. It feels like Gen.G might be setting up for an Azir first pick. But even though Azir has been first picked, whenever he can be, pretty much.
The Orianna first pick.
Games. Okay, yeah, he's been banned out. So those two off the cards.
Is there another mid laner that's sort of blindable? After, like, if Orianna gets banned here, as it will, do we pick mid here, or do we just lock in a Vi or a Jarvan or something like that for Canyon to keep your options open?
I think there's no huge pressure to take mid now. You could even look towards like an AD carry if you wanted to. There's also like strong picks, things like Ambessa and stuff that have seen a lot of priority.
Good point.
You can flex between like jungle and top. There's a lot of good junglers open. There's like Xin Zhao, there's like Jarvan. They're going to go for the Aurora. I mean, Chovy had that insane game on it in the LCK Cup, and it can be flexed between mid and top.
Yep, so, he's a very good Aurora player himself.
I guess with the mid pool being thinned out, looking to prioritize that.
Is there anything that can very comfortably go into an Aurora, though? That's the question. As Ezreal Karma looks to be the option here, as I was wondering when effort was going to be forced onto something that isn't an Enchanter, but so far it has been Seraphine, Lulu, and now Karma.
Yeah, and Ezreal Karma going through is kind of crazy. Again, Karma is being banned every single series till now. It's also the fact you're getting Ezreal and Karma, which is the duo
and
you kind of look for.
Has been like, he's the self-proclaimed best Ezreal. He's said it many times. But they're going to be up against the Ashe Seraphine. The Ezreal Karma is extremely strong. Is it strong enough to be able to take down this lane?
I think a lot of it comes down to execution. There's a lot of poke from the Ezreal Karma, but it's quite skill shot based. I honestly think that it's going to come down to execution in this 2v2 matchup. I do think it's easier for the Ashe Seraphine. There's a lot of damage is harder to avoid. But to be fair, Karma Mantra Q is so big. It's so hard to dodge.
It really is. You said skill shot based. I'm like, is that really? We've seen it miss, but we laugh at it when it does miss.
Yeah.
It's not something that should really be happening.
More so the Ezreal. I think the Ezreal's the big factor. If you're not connecting the Mystic shots, you can really just struggle in that lane. Jace coming through. We've seen Jace popularity fly up. I'm surprised they didn't take jungle here.
Yeah, I was thinking the Xin Zhao was going to be a shoo-in.
I think the Xin Zhao's good, but also like stuff like Jarvan into the Ashe Seraphine specifically has a ton of value. Just something that you can really just put pressure down. I think the main thing is we're talking about like the 2v2 matchup bot being about execution. I think it's more so which jungler comes bot first and executes the enemy bot lane.
Yeah, that's a good point.
It's going to be a big factor.
Well, Annie going to be taken away here. We're just going down the list of things that BDD could play in the mid lane and taking them away from him. Right now, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 mid lane bans.
Yeah, and obviously the Aurora taken away as well, just really thinning the pool out. Pistol options, you know, Ahri got a little bit of a nerf, but still playable. Still like Galio.
I actually really quite like Galio. Imagine if it was like Galio Nocturne or something to be locked in here for KT.
That would
look pretty good.
See, it'd be a big threat. My only concern with Galio Nocturne is that, like, I really like the Galio with like immediate CC to set him up. You know, if you had like Galio, Nocturne, Rakan, that'd feel great. Because otherwise, you know, people can flash out or disengage before the tether comes in, and then the engage might not fully work out. But it's still a big threat, and if you catch someone isolated, they are just going to die.
Could just be a Jarvan if they would like to. KT, we'll see what they do decide to go with. The reason my mind went to Nocturne is because Cuz looked pretty good on it the last time they played.
And Gen.G focused more bans on mid here instead of cutting away at the junglers. So it looks like they are going to go for the Xin Zhao pickup.
Xin Karma, pretty strong.
Yeah, I think Xin with enchanters is just so good. And the fact that you had the option to pair it with Karma, the alternative with them pairing it with Seraphine. Something we saw.
Oh, sorry, he's gone.
Yeah, something we saw often paired with Ash Seraphine was the Mundo.
Yeah, true.
So could lean towards that if you really wanted to, but there's still a lot of good junglers available. I think Jarvan just kind of still there. Nocturne still works.
What's the blind top lane pick as well? Cassante. I guess that that works.
Keen Sante, it's a classic.
And what is it? Oh no. Oh, Daniel. Oh, Daniel. Does he do it again? Does he do it again? Oh my, imagine if it happened. Imagine if Perfect picks Vayne into Keen and beats him with it.
And they flex the Jace mid.
Yeah.
I mean, they could. They could.
Yeah, the Jace didn't actually play into my mind. I was distracted a little bit there. As the Nocturne, like we were talking about before, is going to be picked up on the other side. As Effort, obviously going to be hovering the Nasus. A very normal thing. As you've got some water over there. Good.
Yeah.
I saw it in the prompter that you need to hydrate. Zoe, a consideration here for BDD. Man, they are going all in on poke. There is no engage. They are just going to outrange and out-annoy you.
So I'm a little concerned with how this KT composition has played out, because you obviously have this poke setup, which is really strong. But as you said, they don't have the reliable engage. It's just kind of run at them if we want to get on target. Otherwise, we are just...
No. I don't think they should ever run at them.
Well, yeah, but
they should run away from them.
If they find an isolated target, it is just run at them. Otherwise, it's just playing for poke. But on the side of Gen.G, you have a lot of dive threat. And once the Nocturne goes in, you have like the Seraphine ult can go across the top. You have the Ashe ult for follow-up. There's a lot of pick potential on Gen.G. And generally, poke compositions don't do well when there's a lot of long-range pick and engage that can come through. Like if you're playing Zoe and trying to set up on a flank to get angles, Nocturne can just go for you. And he can spell shield the bubble, and then what else do you have in terms of peel tools? So I think I'm a little bit concerned. I do think KT's composition, if executed well, has a lot of potential, but I think Gen.G has a bit more of a straightforward see champion, kill champion vibe to what they've brought to the table.
Yeah, I'm interested in how it's going to go, especially for this KT composition that is going to be very difficult to execute. But if a poke composition like this does get ahead and they are able to play it out well, it can feel so impossible to do anything into. But you do have to play it very, very well. And there is a decent amount of hard engage on the Gen.G side of things. It is a very stock standard style of composition here. And Gen.G have been so good at making it work no matter what. Even if KT's off to a phenomenal start, I don't think we're ever going to be counting Gen.G out. All right, here we are, ladies and gentlemen, onto the Rift 4 game number 1 of KT versus Gen.G. Cuz already hitting Chovy a bunch of times. It's a little bit cute, as BDD is going to be here as well. Does not quite find Paddle Star damage, but is going to get control of the wave. That's pretty nice. One thing I do want to talk about is the fact that Canyon has once again chosen the correct skin on Nocturne. Spooky Ghost Nocturne is 100% the greatest. And you can, like, why would you ever play the weird red drill?
Yeah, no, I agree.
Spooky Ghost exists. That's the one that you play. That's the rule.
I will say something from Cuz waiting there. Okay, that's some big poke.
Yeah, it's
from Cuz waiting there and denying Chovy. He forced Chovy to start W level 1 and stopped him from getting a ward in the jungle. So actually pretty solid advantage there overall. Effort's getting some good poke down already on a Duro. Duro not being able to dodge these Qs, and everyone that hits, you're getting that lower cooldown on the Mantra, which is obviously way harder to dodge.
Yep. Pretty big deal. As BDD taking a bit of damage here from Chovy, gets that Electrocute proc, but otherwise things are looking all right. It's an airy take here for BDD as well, as Effort is just continuing to be frustrating. Does miss the Mantra Q though, so we need to add a little bit of a chuckle. So not exactly optimal. Keen taking a lot of damage here towards this top side of the map, as we do have vertical jungling ensuing here between these two squads. And I imagine for KT, that feels pretty good. Their jungler is on the bottom side of the map.
Yeah, definitely a big advantage in leveraging the really strong level 1 off this Ezreal Karma so they can push in. And, you know, Canyon's kind of read this quite well, and it's just matched on the other side of the map.
Yeah, it's just already there.
Yeah, so despite the fact he didn't get that ward in, didn't get that information, he's responded as he should. And Ruler and Duro aren't really in a position where they can be dove, so the end result is not really a huge punish for Gen G in this situation.
Yeah, not too bad. Canyon getting some vision over as well, so not going to miss out on too much. So it is just going to be a mirrored start here for both junglers. Canyon, good adaptation, as Rift Scuttle is going to be going down as well. So everything even. You can see KT with about 100 gold lead. That is largely due to the fact that Perfect is having a very good time in lane, as you would expect as the Jace into Cassante. Does now moving over a ward though, as we can see. Effort is just being so frustrating here. He does find Ruler with that Mantra Q. Aiming did go back, get that early tier. Isn't doing a whole lot of extra damage though, as now BDD taking a fair bit himself. Canyon looking for a little bit of a drive-by as the Dustbringer doesn't quite connect. Is Perfect going to do it again, man? He's been racking up these solo kills so far. Is it the year of Perfect, actually? In the LCK Cup, we started with the year of Dudu. I tried to make the year of Vikla a thing. That didn't age all that well. Maybe moving into the LCK for 2026, it's the year of Perfect.
It could be, you know, it's looking promising right now. And I love how we just keep switching.
Yeah, that's how it's supposed to go.
That's the angle.
It's going to be everyone's year at some point.
Yeah, we'll get through most players in the league, I hope, by the end of the year.
Yeah, that's
everyone gets that time in the sun.
All right, Keen is just weathering the storm as best he can, though. Obviously, this is a difficult matchup for the Cassante, as we mentioned before, but right now looks pretty good. Perfect, and it is his year, as we just stated.
I think one thing with this bot lane matchup is the Ashe Seraphine gets so much power at level 6, whereas the Karma really doesn't. The Ezreal ult, not as much immediate power in lane. I mean, the ult, obviously, if you can connect it, is great, but it's very telegraphed, whereas an Ashe ult, if Effort steps up post 6, he's probably just dead.
Yep. That's why they're trying to get as much poke and damage down before said level 6 does come on through, as level 4s have been hit by both of the bottom laners for KT. And Ruler actually going to be forced back here as Effort with the Inspire going to help him tank that turret shot, but just being as frustrating as possible. Do have Chovy leading as far as farm is concerned here in this mid lane, and able to rifle through these minions as well, as we can see. Double Amp Tome has been picked up just to help him destroy that backline, and there it is. Now Cuz moving towards that top side of the map, though, is now Keen going to get booped back by that hammer. Perfect, still looking for some options. Flash does come on through here. He's level 6, so they're making sure that all-out does not get him to safety. And he is trying to get the kill back, but it doesn't work. And first blood goes to Perfect.
Just an easy gank setup there. Keen trying to find an angle away, and is unsuccessful. Doesn't bin his flash is one thing, but still ends up going down.
Very cute, though. Like, I actually liked how Perfect played it, because he did not hesitate flashing out of the way of that Q, and we saw just how close to death he actually came after that all-out, all-in happened from Keen.
Full respect given over to Keen.
Oh, man, that was scary. The bubble is going to connect here onto the Nocturne, though, as Canyon is just dead. Kill goes over to BDD. They lose out on the Drake, but KT 2-0.
Did he spell? Was he? Because sometimes you can, well, you can spell shield the dragon damage to get the attack speed. I'm wondering if it was on cooldown, because he didn't spell shield to like right at the very end. Very weird not to spell shield the bubble in that situation. So, yeah, I'm a little confused there. I feel like if he'd spell shielded the bubble, he would have been fine.
Let's have a look.
Maybe he just didn't see it with the dragon, because you see here, he spell shields then, very late.
Yeah, so maybe it had just come back up.
That's what I'm thinking, because, you know, you can spell shield the dragon attack to get the attack speed. So it may have just come up, or maybe he just didn't see the bubble and got caught out. Either way, it's a good collapse from KT. They get rewarded, even though they missed out on the dragon. Now, it is Chemtech Ocean first 2 dragons, so immediately I'm thinking, ooh, that's pretty good soul.
Heck yeah. As effort. Looking for Duro here. Does manage to snare him momentarily, but he should be all right. Is this Seraphine after all?
Okay, Ruler is about to hit 6. Duro is about halfway there.
Ruler has a pretty good first back, too.
Yeah, this is the point where we can really see this matchup pivot quite heavily. So Effa has to be careful, especially because a big defensive factor for Karma is having the Mantra W. That heal is so powerful in early 2v2s, gives you so much extra health. If your Mantra's down...
Oh, here's the paranoia. As Perfect trying to get himself out of there, but he is feared up and destroyed. An easy gank here from Canyon. And first ulti being good is a fantastic start here for the Nocturne.
Very straightforward, you know, answering back that earlier gank from Kurz and getting a good, successful first Nocturne ult. Keen even gets the Crystalline Overgrowth to help him out with that first plate.
Yep.
But yeah, I think if Effort ever uses his Mantra badly, it's just so easy like that.
Yep, for example.
Yeah.
Let's see whether Ruler does pull the trigger. Level 5 for the Karma, but doesn't exactly need level 6, as we know. As aiming, Arcane shifting forward, that's dangerous. Beat Drop is going to miss, though. And KT still keeping themselves relatively healthy in this lane. As Cuz looking to start off these grubs. Definitely good for a Jace composition. You want to be playing a fair bit of 4-1, I could imagine, with a poke comp like this. Because 5v5 is not exactly going to be aim of the game. As True Shot Barrage connects here onto Ruler as the arrow is traded. There's the Encore onto Effort. They want to try and kill him, but the high note not going to be enough. And Gen.G did throw the kitchen sink at them. KT just kind of caught it.
I feel like Gen.G's bot lane are playing this so defensively. Like, you had those really powerful ultimates, but they're playing really respectful in ways I just don't think they needed to, if I'm being honest. I mean, this was the gank earlier, not much to say about that, very easy setup, but they're giving so much respect to Effort, and you saw how close he came to dying when they connected their ults, but they were already backing away. And I think they really should have leveraged that ult power a lot more, but they're playing on such a defensive way. Seems a bit weird to me. I think Ruler and Duro definitely could have pushed a bit more and looked for a kill, because Effort was down Mantra, playing very aggressive, playing up in their faces. And in the end, it's them who are forced off, them who are burning summoners, so...
A little bit interesting. It also does show Canyon towards the bottom side. You can see Cuz already just absolutely obliterating his jungle on the top side of the map. As Canyon will discover BDD, who portal jumps around momentarily. Cuz comes on over though, and so Canyon not going to be able to do too much here to the Zoe, despite BDD taking a bit of damage.
Yeah, Canyon's ult just comes up now, so... I don't think he would have gone for it necessarily, but didn't have that threat at all in pocket, so I'm not really looking for anything on the back of that. And now bot lane, Ruler did burn his barrier, Duro burn heal, a little bit less tools available. And aiming still having that cleanse just means he's never really a great target.
The double blocks on the cannon to deny it there from both of the Gen.G bottom laners. Pretty cute stuff as the Ignite comes through. Yeah, I would be infinitely frustrated if I was aiming, understandably. Canyon does put his Hex Plate together. There's going to be first item done here for the Nocturne. Still Cuz with a little bit of a lead as far as that farm, and he also collects his first item, feeling very, very nice with that Sundered Sky already done. And there's the True Shot Barrage over Ruler, just to buy them a little bit of tempo here in this game. Right now, KT still sitting with a 1,000 gold lead, but this is a composition that wants to be ahead, right? It's so interesting when you have comps that have very clearly different ways that they want to win the game.
Yep.
And Gen.G, weathering the storms certainly will work for a comp like this, right? Front to back team fighting composition in the later stages of the game is certainly going to work. But KT, if they do hit critical mass, then they should just never have to really worry. As long as they can play good defensive League of Legends, then they can just deny Gen.G these team fights and take all of their stuff.
That was a good play from Perfect. He spotted Canyon on that ward and just immediately flashed out. Canyon was going to ult. I mean, it was very obvious. Yep. And then immediately, Cuz just goes for the dragon to trade. I said that was a good play. He is sticking around. That may convert it into a not good play.
Yeah, he may just die anyway, as it's going to be a Mountain Soul this game, and Perfect is also going to die. Keen tanks up this turret for quite some time, but he can do that. He's pretty tanky. And Canyon is going to survive there as well, so another gank on... Oh, never mind! behind.
What?
Perfect gets
What?
the kill back. Why did he walk back
What?
into the turret? What just happened? That got a Ghost Blade. Perfect hit an item spike because of that kill.
Okay, so it went from good play, converted to not a good play, and then Keen converted it again into a good play.
Good play, Perfect.
Good play. He just knew.
Yeah, it's his year after all. Okay.
Those are one of those plays, we call those mind control plays. Clearly just
I personally
Keen.
call it a whoopsie. Let's have a look at this again and see how it all kind of transpired.
Yeah, we saw this stuff. Some good jukes from Perfect to buy time. Oh, the last minion just died to the other minions, and he thought he was going to take another tower hit. That's honestly, I'm going to say it. That's really funny.
Well, Perfect is just going to find Canyon here. Spell Shield is decent. Wants a couple more autos, but doesn't quite get them. As now BDD finds the bubble onto Chovy, and there it is. Perfect goes forward, and Chovy gets taken down. Portal jump, beautiful. There from BDD. It was effort that got the kill. Certainly not the best, but now they're 4-2, and BDD finds another one. Beat Drop is going to buy enough space to deny the Paddle Star. But still, KT, this is exactly what this composition wants to be doing.
And Perfect just getting so much value. Honestly, I think he was a little bit unlucky because Canyon Spell Shield was
About to time out, right?
I think it was so close, and if that Shock Blast connects, he's just dead. And then you get the kill mid as well, not for him, but assisting with it would have been such a... I mean, already is a massive play for KT, but 2,000 gold lead at this point in the game, they're feeling really good about it. They did also manage to get that second Drake. They have Grubs in pocket, looking pretty positive, and Duro and Ruler never really recovered in the spot lane 2v2. It just felt like they never offered that much resistance. Canyon never got a chance to go down there, and they hit the level 6, never really capitalized on those ults. So first tower going over to aiming an effort.
And KT playing around the map really beautifully as well. You could see they get all that pressure on that bottom side of the map. They take down the turret. They utilize that to also get a blue buff. As Flash out here from BDD. That portal jump means he does have to come back though, and I think he is just dead. Does avoid a bit of the damages. Never mind. Oh, the Dustbringer. My God, if BDD had survived there, it would have been absurd.
I think mentally, if he'd survived there, it's just game over.
Yep, I think so too.
You wouldn't be able to handle it. Chovy might be in trouble here.
Yeah, there's the Encore to try and keep him alive. The beat drop there as well, but in goes Cuz with the upgraded Audacious Charge. Perfect is now trying to dodge some Qs here out of Keen. Does manage to do so, as that was some fancy footwork. Still doesn't matter, he's very dead. But Gen G did have to work a little bit harder for it. Let's see whether Cuz and Effort can actually make it up here in time, and it looks like the answer is no.
Yeah, Keen happened to commit the flash there, giving a lot of respect to that tower that obviously took him down earlier.
Yep.
Still KT with lead, still them making some good plays, but some answers back from Gen G.
Arrow. Just nails aiming. Doesn't have his cleanse up and available, and Chovy goes between the worlds. The flash out there is Cuz going to protect him from the angry raptor. You love to see that, but aiming now without a flash.
Aiming pretty lucky to survive there, and I think his cleanse earlier was on Duro's ultimate, where, I'm going to be real, he did not need a cleanse. It was when they were walking forward onto Chovy, and he cleansed, for, like, he could have just tanked it. But I think a lot of AD carries do this, where you get hit by a CC and you just like automatically cleanse it.
I think it's a decent like muscle memory to have, you know?
Yeah, but sometimes this ends up happening where it's like, oh, I got hit by CC cleanse, and then it's like, you know, this happens. Where a CC you actually have to cleanse,
yeah, exactly.
Meaningful comes in, and now you're banning flash, and it's a lot more meaningful. And now we're going into this dragon fight in 40 seconds, no cleanse, no flash. Aiming is definitely a target for Gen G.
Perfect's footwork has been absolutely fantastic. That sidestep looking very, very good. Utilizing these Swifties to make sure that the walk strategy is working out as best as it can. Keen, though, does have a level advantage somehow, and now a CS lead that is quite decent.
Perfect's just been in great form. It's just really good to see. And, you know, he's always been a bit of a monster in solo queue, but it's been a struggle to replicate that in competitive to the same level. But it's been such a great start to the season, and continuing that in this matchup. I know we obviously have 3 deaths, but
Ruler gonna take a little bit of a nap here as the turret does go down as well. Cuz flashing on top of the Ash. There's the paranoia, but it's not gonna save the AD carry, and it's a double kill for Cuz as the bottom lane is wiped out. Shelly gets another charge, and KT, they did not skip a beat after their 2-0 over T1. Looking fantastic here in this mid-game.
Cuz playing it so well, flashing over the Seraphine ult to dodge away from it, and just sticking to Ruler like glue. Aiming those sums, no problem. Don't need them if they're the ones going aggressive on the enemy AD carry and finding all the angles.
And that was an all-in with this, you know, smoke and mirrors poke-style composition. When Cuz is fed, it doesn't matter. This Xin Zhao is just the front line. Give him an Inspire shield and he'll just kill everyone.
Ruler just eats everything here, and then that flash. The flash ult
and it
knocked
pushes Duro in as well. My God.
It was so well played there by, I mean, Cuz and BDD as a duo played that so well to set that play up.
Wow, who would have thought?
Yeah, wow.
We've never mentioned it before, but still working very, very well together.
Sometimes the classics they just work.
Yeah, they're classics for a reason. And right now, looking absolutely fantastic here, as even Effort has a 1,000 gold lead. Largest lead in the game here is for aiming, though, as this Ezreal about to hit that 2-item spike that we talk about all the time. I know a lot of you are probably frustrated about it, but it is important, and he is about to get there. It's going to mean that KT will have so much firepower as they come out of this mid-game, and looking for Soul Point in 4 minutes' time after managing to take down both turrets in the mid lane, as I hear Wolf somewhere saying that's the Zoe turret, and they did manage to take that and its friend in the mid lane, which feels very, very good for map control for a composition like this. Having map control as a poke comp is paramount, and they have it. Aiming does manage to get that item spike that we were talking about as well.
Yeah.
I mean, they're coming up, KT.
They're in a great spot right now. Also, if they end up getting Mountain Soul, just that extra durability makes it so much harder for those knockdown engages to work. This composition from Genji, it's not an issue if you're ahead, right? You have the burst to blow people up, but it will start to feel like it lacks damage if you fall behind. You know, you have a tank top, you have like a knocked-in Aurora who have not the most insane amount of damage between them, those champions. And then Ashe. Ashe is one of these picks where, you know, if she can hit targets, her sustained DPS is decent, but it's not one of those AD carries where you think like, oh, mountains of damage coming out of an Ashe generally. And I think into this KT composition, it's just hard for Ruler to consistently auto-attack, you know, when you're being threatened from, you know, Cuz, BDD, Perfect.
It feels like
threats.
It's like one of the on-hit Varus problem as well, right? Like you just don't have that amount of mobility to be able to hit the targets if they do have a frustrating level of range. And like it's not even necessarily range, it's just being able to move around everywhere they want to all the time. Zoe and Ezreal, this has been a combination that has been utilized for a really long time now. And it just allows you to have so much mobility and continue to do damage. As you can see, Kane takes a lot of damage underneath this inner turret.
You know, a composition with Ezreal, Zoe, Jace is risky. You know, you start missing skill shots and where is your damage? But if you're playing like this, where's the risk?
That's exactly right. Just be good and it'll work out. That's precisely what KT are doing. They also have Cuz, who is an incredibly dangerous Xin Zhao right now, and that allows this Ezreal and Zoe combination to just run amok.
Yeah,
they always know that they have that defense.
We actually see Genji have put Canyon and Chovy in the side lane.
No. How did he get over there as Ruler takes the Battle Star? That's the dash cannon going to connect as well, but isn't going to do too much more. Still, it just provides enough space to take this inner turret, as now you've got Perfect getting engaged on by Canyon, the flash, but the Fear still connects, and so Perfect is very, very dead. Chovy collects it there with the dash cannon of his own. And Genji are able to at least get a punish to stop some of this tempo that KT have put together.
I just feel like they lost so much prior to that. Like Chovy and Canyon went top and were like, let's try and find someone here. But KT were playing through mid and bot.
My goodness.
These bubbles are so frustrating. It's such a big
pretty
threat.
good at Zoe.
And now you've lost so many structures. You know, you lost your mid tier 2, your bot tier 2. It's really difficult to walk up. And there's no Mikhails on the side of Genji. Hasn't been built yet, so these bubbles are...
I guess Seraphine wants to build lots of items, doesn't she?
Yeah, we have sometimes seen, like, I mean, the core is the Echoes of Helia and the Diadem, the tier item, but we have seen them sometimes delay it to get the Mikhails.
Wouldn't mind to see it as Chovy goes between the worlds. BDD just trying to get out and utilizes the dash cannon in order to do so. Really nicely done as Aiming and Ruler fighting one another. Aiming, realizing that Duro was on the way. And now Effort moving on forward. Beach Ball going to go entirely wide. As there's the paranoia. Effort watches the Nocturne fly over the top of him, but the flash into the wall there from Canyon is not really what you wanted to see. Is now BDD. He's flashing away as well. The all-out comes in. He gets a big old shield from Effort, and they go 1-for-1. Is now Cuz is looking to try and take down Keen. The cavalry arrives, and KT look to convert it into this the mountain soul point.
And KT just all there to cover their mid laner. BDD does go down, but the response is swift, and Gen G just look out of sorts. You know, Canyon flashing into the wall. Chovy getting caught by the bubble on the back end.
And BDD just should have died way sooner than that, right?
Yeah. I mean, the big thing, he picks up the flash here. So they're like, okay, he's going to flash over the wall. Canyon wants to follow him, but just face plants.
Yeah.
And then he survives for such a long time, and then just as he's about to go down, he gets to sleep onto Chovy. So it's a 1-for-1, and all of KT are moving down to respond. Keen goes down too. And suddenly
getting another kill as well. This Karma is 1.6k ahead.
And this one has some kills. You know, this support does. I think it is Duro is going for himself, but having that already in pocket, it means things like the Ash Arrow, the ult for the Seraphine, just so much less threatening.
Yeah, and it's not even on Duro, right? He's 1.6k behind. Like, he just can't afford it.
Golden supports can be very useful on.
Yeah. And so far, Effort has turned it into a bunch of value. As KT, with control of this river, Gen G did manage to get their red buff. There's at least that. Ruler goes over and collects it. But, I mean, when this comp gets a Mountain Soul as well, like, that was the thing that they were lacking, was a front line. It's not really going to be an issue when Cuz has an extra shield as well as Effort's shield. Like, he will be a bigger tank than Keen.
And now KT just trying to set up around the Baron. Choke off Gen G from approaching. They are looking towards the mid tower here.
Ooh, could be a rotation over, though, as we can see. True Shot Barrage is going to soften up Chovy and Ruler.
I think one thing
just going to be able to buy the space here to manage to take down this turret as the arrow is going to connect. It lands onto Effort as there's the paranoia as well. Effort taken down immediately. Blast Cone is going to break up the fight. But Gen G have already taken one. Between Worlds goes Chovy is now perfect. Needs to be careful. The all-out onto Cuz takes him out of the fight, and Keen is going to be able to lock down the second kill. 2-for-0 in favor of Gen G. And now they may not even be done yet. The bubble is going to connect, though, onto this Cassante. And man, almost just explodes immediately afterwards. Still going to survive as KT still with a fair bit of damage left available, but without the utility, it's going to be really difficult to stop Gen G here.
Stopped.
Yeah, he did. Okay, does this mean that they can stop this Baron from going down? Because KT kind of likes it when they're sitting in the pit. Exactly right, this poke could be devastating. Keen teleports just to get that shield and get back into the fight. And it should mean that KT are going to get out of there. But the True Shot Barrage does a fair bit of work. Canyon taking a lot of damage. The shot blast rate. Oh, my God! He just walks in and takes it off the shelf. And now Effort's back. Perfect's back. They're looking for more as Canyon trapped inside the pit and aiming. Gonna take him down. Arcane Shift required to get over this wall as Gen G are desperately trying to salvage the situation. And there it is. To the skies goes Perfect, and Effort says that's a third one for me, baby.
And just when you think Gen G have found the comeback, they take down the support, they take down the jungle. It's BD. Oh, BD in trouble.
Yeah, catches this.
Oh, never mind.
Okay, never mind. This was actually just all part of the plan. And Effort going to be able to lock down that kill as well. A flash forward from Perfect as he takes out Ruler. And Duro going to follow suit as he presses W. And down goes the Seraphine. This should be the end of the game as KT 3-0 in the LCK for 2026 when they faced off against T1 first. And now Gen G. Paranoia going to be used, but it's just going to switch off the lights like a kid having fun. And KT will deal with these Nexus turrets and take us to game number 2 with match point. This KT is not the one I was expecting for 2026, but it feels good to watch him.
It's BD just does more damage, lands more Sleepy Trouble Bubbles, is more of a threat. It's such a suffocating pick. And, you know, we've seen it come out late and fearless. This is game 1. This is just, yeah, I can play this, I will win, I will carry, and he definitely did so.
And this is obviously a practice composition as well, right? We've seen comps like this so many times, and I think as soon as they locked in, the Ezreal...
천천히 봐줘 이거. 노플이야 노플이야. 얘네 싹 다 놓고 싹 다 놓고. 여기에 일자리 놓고 있으면 해. 우리 윗자리. 오는 걸 더.
얘들아 주더라도 포킹하면서 천천히 해봐. 나도 가고 있어. 천천히
다
해봐.
노공이야 다 노공.
얘들아 안 쳐도 돼 급하게. 급하게 하지 마봐.
디텍트. 야 여기 들어간다.
산테랑 녹턴 노플이야. 산테 녹턴.
얘다 노공.
나 가고 있고.
얘 싹 다 노공.
산테 녹턴 노플.
얘들아 포킹해봐 계속 길게.
필세 들어가는 거 어때? 나 오라 볼 수 있고. 오라 볼래 얘들아 오라 보자.
먹었다
빼. 아래도 아래도 좋아. 오라 노플. 산테 보자 산테 노플.
길게 보자 길게 얘들아 길게 봐 길게.
산테 노플.
이게 여기 쫓아 못 가게.
보자. 와봐.
길게 갈게 길게.
무상형 가보던지. 나 미칼 되는데.
더 갈게.
가도 돼. 가줄게 형.
봐줄래 이거?
너무 좋아 보인다. 더 가는 거.
야 타밍 갈게.
미드 가면 끝날 것 같아. 나 펠 있어.